So hi there, welcome back to my YouTube channel. In this tutorial video, I will show you how to create a full responsive animated website UI design with HTML, CSS and JavaScript. It is going to be a cryptocurrency website UI design with animations included in it. So in this video, you're going to be learning how to create a responsive website design with the help of HTML and CSS and add a scroll animations with pure JavaScript. So without wasting the time, let's jump right into the video. So this is the website landing page that we are going to be creating. So let me do a hot restart over here, as you can see, or reload this page. As you can see, when we reload the page, our navbar main section, that means our center section, our left section of our main section and our right section of our image animates. Let me do it once again. As you can see, that makes your website look cool and interactive. So now when I do scroll down, as you can see, this section comes when I do scroll down. When I do go at the top, it is gonna be disappeared. When I do scroll back, it's gonna be appeared over here, right? And you can see over here, for this navbar, we have created three sections. One section is going to be including the logo of our design website. One section is going to be including the links of our website, and one section is going to be including the C coin offers button. When the user hovers on it, as you can see, the beautiful and amazing animation in it, right? And when you do scroll down, you get the same effect. When I do right click and go inspect it out in a mobile device, as you can see, it's fully responsive in mobile device too. It animates nicely and it looks really cool and amazing. So after watching the whole tutorial video on how to create a responsive website UI design with HTML, CSS and JavaScript for adding animations in your website to make it look more interactive, you will be learning media queries in it for making your website responsive wherever you're seeing that the website page is being unresponsive, right? So if till now you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel, please do not forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel and hit the notification bell. So now let's start creating our cryptocurrency website UI design. As I have created already a new project which is fully empty, let me just drag it on the right hand side of the screen and open my VS Code editor. So now I will explain you the structure of the code that I have created as a starter template. As you can see over here, I do have a assets directory in which I do have some of the images related to my website located over here. And I have created one HTML file, one JavaScript file and one CSS file. So the animations that we are going to be adding in our website will be our last process. First, we are going to be focusing on the responsive UI design. So in my HTML file, I have just linked some of the CSS libraries which you can see. The one is the Font Awesome CDN link and the second one is the Google Fonts CSS link. Alright, and I have even linked my CSS and my script file with my HTML. So now let's start working with our code editor. So the first thing that we're going to be creating over here is going to be the header section. So after the body, I'm going to be providing a comment over here, so it will be really easy for you all guys to understand which code is written for what section, right? So here our code is gonna start for our header, and here our header section will be ending. Simple. Now, so for creating the navbar, we are going to be creating a nav, which is going to be having a class of navbar to access it for styling in our CSS file. In this nav, the first thing we are going to be creating over here is the input, which is going to be having a type which is going to be checkbox and the ID that is going to be nav-toggle. So why we have created this input which is having a type of checkbox? We are creating this because when the user enters in a responsive device, like if the user is opening our website in mobile device, that time we are not going to be showing our menu links in our navbar. We will be showing a burger menu. So when the user clicks on that, our checkbox will be checked. When our checkbox is checked, we are going to be displaying the menus at the bottom of our navbar. So for that, we have created this input. After that, we are going to be creating a div which is going to be having a class of left section. This is going to be including the logo of our website. After that, we are going to be having a UL tag in which we are going to be having the list of the items, which is going to be including our links for our navbar. So first, let's work with our left section, in which we are going to be selecting our image for our website, that is located in assets directory logo1.png. Simple, right guys? As you can see, the logo is being displayed over here, and it's just a simple logo, but we need to even display this text at the side of the logo. So for displaying that, just create a paragraph tag after your image tag and your name your website, Ethereum website, right? Simple. So now we are all set with our left section. Now let's come in our nav links. So over here in my nav links, the first link is going to be the design code. Sorry, not a code, it's going to be a coin. The second list item is going to be the coin. Third list item is going to be how it works. The fourth list item is going to be about, and the fifth and the last list item is going to be the customers. Simple. So now we have done with our nav links. After that, we are going to be creating another div which is going to be having a class of right section, in which we are going to be including the number for C coin offers. So for creating that button, just create a button tag which is going to be having a class that is going to be offer-button, and the text that you need to display in your button, which is going to be C coin offers. After that, I would even like to display the arrow symbol, right? So for that, we are going to be using the font awesome class, which is going to be fa-solid fa-bars. All right. Oh, sorry, it's not going to be a bars. It's going to be fa-arrow-right-long. That's it. So now we are all set with our right section also. After this right section div ends, we are going to be creating a label which will not be displayed in the website on the bigger devices like laptop and tablet. But when the user comes to the responsive design like Android and iOS devices, that time this will be displayed. That is going to be our burger menu. So let's create a label which is going to be for nav-toggle for this input checkbox. Alright guys, so this label is going to be for our input checkbox, which is going to be having a class for styling it, that is going to be icon-burger. In this label, I would like to display the burger icon, so which is going to be having a class that is our font awesome class fa-solid fa-bars, which is going to be having an ID that is going to be burger menu for styling it in our CSS file. Alright, so we are all set with our HTML code. Alright guys, so let's see what things are being displayed over here. We do have our logo, okay, we do have our logo text that is Ethereum, we do have our nav menu links, and we do have our C coin offers button with this arrow symbol in it. And at the last, we do have our burger menu when the user enters the responsive device size. So now let's style it in our CSS file. So let me open my CSS file and write the basic code of star, which is going to be removing the margin and removing the padding, and setting the box sizing, which is going to be border box. Alright, after that I would like to select my body, set the font family, which is going to be sans serif. Now, for an example, if you're viewing this website in other browsers like internet browser, Brave, or any other, in which when you open the website, some background colors, some text colors, some font family changes, so you need to apply it by default. So for my body, I'm going to be applying a background color which is going to be white, and the font family is going to be sans serif. After that, I will start styling my header section. So I'm going to provide a comment over here which is going to be header section starts. So it will be really easy for you all guys to understand the CSS file for which code. Okay, so now the first thing is that I would like to select my navbar. That means I'm selecting my main nav class, to which I am providing a padding from top and bottom, that is 20 pixel, from right and left, that is going to be 150 pixel. Alright. After that, I would like to say whatever items are there in it, display it as flex, so all things will be displayed in a single row. Alright. And I will align the items in center, and the cursor will be pointer. Align item center, and the margin will be 0 auto, and remove the cursor pointer from here. Now if you do check over here, we do have a logo, and all things are on the right hand side of our logo. That means all items are being displayed in a row, right guys? Yeah. So now let me come back over here, and after that I would like to select my left section in which I do have the logo. So dot navbar and dot left hyphen section. I would like to say, because I do have image and the website logo text being displayed over here, so I need to make it as a logo. So for that, I would like to say them to display whatever is there in this section as flex, so it will be displayed in a row. So display flex, okay, align items center, and when the user hovers on it, the cursor is gonna be pointer. Now let me add some styling to the image of the logo. So dot navbar dot left hyphen section, in which I am going to be selecting the image, that is our logo image, to which I will be setting its height, that is going to be 50 pixel. Okay, that looks really good and amazing. After providing it a height, now I'm going to be styling my paragraph, that is for our navbar, that is for our logo, that is Ethereum, right? So dot navbar dot left section, in which I would like to select the paragraph. The first thing I would like to change is the font weight, that is going to be bold, and the font size is going to be 20 pixel. That looks really good and amazing. After that, I would like to style the links, that is the nav links, like design coin, the coin, how it works, about, and the customers. So for styling it, inside my navbar, I do have a UL tag. I will say them to display it as flex, so it will display in a single row, as you can see, right? Then I will say them to justify the content in center. After that, I will be providing it a flex one, so the nav links and the button is going to be getting space between it. And after that, the list style, that we can see the dot at the before of our text will be removed, so list style, which is going to be none. Alright, that is amazing. After that, let's style our list. So dot navbar UL, in which I do have a list. First, we are going to be adding some margin from the left, which is going to be 40 pixel. I'm going to be changing the font weight, that is going to be bold. After that, when the user hovers on the menus, the cursor will be changed to pointer, and I'll be adding a transition, so when it goes to the responsive design, it will be smoothly smoothly disappear. Alright, so the transition is going to be all 0.2 second is in and out. Great, that looks amazing. Then I would like to select when the user hovers on the links that, for an example, when the user hovers on this list items, I need to change the color of it. So dot navbar dot ul dot list items, whenever the users hover on it, I would like to change the color, which is going to be an RGB value, that is 85 131. Alright, so now when I do hover on this text, as you can see, it's changing its color to the color that I have provided to it over here, right? So now when I do scroll on the right hand side, we do see over here we do have the C coin offers button, right? So now let's start styling it. So it's going to be inside the right section. Right section, in which I do have the offer button as class in it for my button. First of all, I would like to remove the border from the button, so I would like to set border as none. Second thing, I would like to remove the background color, so the background color will be set up to transparent. And when the user hovers on the button, the cursor is going to be changed to pointer. I'm going to be setting the font weight of the button's text to bold. Font size, which is going to be 15 pixel. After that, when I do scroll on the right hand side, as you can see, it's displayed nicely, but we are in a responsive design, that's why it's being displayed like that. When I do maximize my browser screen, as you can see, it's looking really amazing. So now let me open my VS Code editor. Okay, after this, I would like to style the arrow imp symbol. So inside my navbar, inside my right section, I do have this offer button, in which I do have I, that is the font awesome class. The first thing is that I would like to provide it a padding from left, which is going to be 10 pixel. And I will be adding a transition on it, so when the user hovers on it, we will be smoothly animating it, which is going to be all 0.4 second ease in and out. Now let's add a hover animation on this button. How can we do that? When the user hovers on this button, we no need to animate the button, but we need to animate this eye, that is the font awesome icon, right? So for doing that, you need to select your navbar right section. That means you need to select your button class, that is offer hyphen button. So now over here we are gonna say when the user hovers on the button, the thing that I need to animate other than the button. So when the user hovers on the button, just animate my font awesome icon. The first thing, I would like to change its color to red, and I would like to provide it a padding from left, which is going to be 30 pixel. Okay, so now let's hover on the C coin hover offers button. As you can see, it's smoothly animating, right guys? Yeah, so that's it. So now let's add some code for removing this burger menu and the checkbox. Alright, so let me open the code editor over here. Now I will be selecting my navbar and the nav toggle, that is the checkbox. Now the first thing is that I would like to change its position as an absolute, and from top I will display it as -100 pixel. That means it's gonna go to the top and it will not be displayed to us. As you can see over here, it is not being displayed over here right now, right guys? Because if we do display it as none, then it will not be displayed and the functionality will also not work. Now let's style our burger menu. So when we are on the website design in our computer, laptop and tablet, what I need is, I don't want this to display. So inside my navbar, I'm gonna select my icon burger and I will set its display as none, and boom guys, as you can see, it is not being displayed, right? Then I'm gonna select my navbar. Alright, in this navbar I'm gonna select my icon burger, in which I do have the class provided to my font awesome icon, that is ID, that is the burger menu, right? I would like to just change its color to black. Okay, simple, to make it the same color in all of the browsers. Now This is our responsive navbar. Let's test it out whether it's same in our created portfolio and the portfolio that we are creating now. Oh yeah, that is totally the same, right guys? Yeah, that's totally same. Let me maximize my VS Code editor so it will be really easy for you all guys to see what's happening more nicely and clearly. And okay, so we are all set with our navbar for our web, right? So now when the user comes to the responsive design, as you can see, our navbar is not at all responsive. So now let's start making our navbar responsive. So what I would like to do is I would like to drag my browser screen over here, so it will be really easy for you all guys to see the code, see what's happening live. Alright, so that's great. So now I would like to scroll at the end of my CSS file and provide a comment over here that is going to be the responsive CSS code, in which we are going to be writing the media queries. So over here, to make our website responsive, we are going to be writing a media query. For writing a media query, use the @media parenthesis and provide a max width to it. The max width is going to be 1081 pixel when I want my nav menus to be disappeared and display a burger menu, and when the user clicks on that, we need to display the links at the bottom of our navbar. So in this media query, I would like to provide a comment that this code is going to be for our header section. In this, I would like to select my navbar. The first thing is that providing it a padding from top and bottom of 20 pixels from right and left, which is going to be 5%. After that, I would like to select the left section, that is our logo, to which I would like to say that float is going to be none. I would like to say to display it as flex, justify content, center, and then the margin is going to be 0 auto. What it's going to do is it is going to align my left section logo and the text of my website in the middle of our web page when we just disappeared our nav menus. So .navbar .ul tag, I'm going to be selecting it and providing it a position over here, which is going to be fixed. Okay, now it's at the top of each other's, right? Yeah. After that, I would like to provide it a z index of 9, so it will be appearing at the top of our all of the contents in our website. Left is going to be 0, right is going to be 0. From top, I would like to provide the space that is going to be 90 pixel. As you can see guys, that looks really good and amazing. And from the bottom, I'm going to provide it 100%, which will make it look good and responsive. Now let me set the width and the height of it. Width is going to be auto and the height is also going to be auto. After that, we are just going to be selecting the flex direction and make it column, so it will be displayed from top to bottom, not in a row, it will be displayed in a column. Okay, so the flex direction will be column. Boom guys, that looks really cool and amazing. After that, I will justify the content space evenly. Alright, and then let me provide it a background color, which is going to be an RGBA value because we are going to be having some opacity in our background. So 0, 0, 0, 0.8. Okay. After that, the overflow is going to be hidden and the box sizing is going to be border box, and I will be adding a transition to it that is going to be all 0.5 5 second is in and out. Alright, so now overflow is hidden, that's why it's not being displayed, and from the bottom I've provided it 100%, so that's why all of our nav links went to the top of our page and it is not being displayed now. So after that, let me style my right section. I don't want to display when we are in responsive, so dot navbar dot right section. When we are in the responsive in this media query, I would like to not display it, so display will be none. And as you can see, it is not being displayed, and this code is aligning our logo in the middle of our, or in the center of our web page. After the right section, I would like to select my navbar UL list items and change its color to the white because the background color is black. After that, we need to add, when the user clicks on the burger menu, it should display the nav links, right? So for that, I'm gonna select my nav and I'm gonna say if my nav is checked, then I would like to display the UL tag, right? So I'm gonna be selecting my UL tag, to which I have provided from bottom 100%. Now I'll change it bottom to 0. Alright, but how will it be checked? So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to be selecting my icon burger and display it as block, and it will be displayed when it's responsive in this media query. And boom guys, as you can see, it is being displayed, right guys? So now when the user clicks on it, as you can see, our nav menu is being displayed and it's fully responsive and it animates smoothly, and that looks really interactive, right guys? So now let's have some paddings to provide to it to make it look more good. So from here, if I do right click, let me just maximize my browser screen, right click and click on inspect. Now it's totally responsive. But when we come to this section over here, let me just go to the 75%. Okay, so when we are in this 1 2 3 4 section like this, when we are in this query, what I need is I need to remove the paddings from this left and the right side. You can see this is the pixels that we're using in our media query. So for doing that, let me maximize my VS Code editor, and now I will be writing the media query over here. You will just see the live effect. So media query is going to be having a max width, which is going to be 1 2 3 4 pixel. All right, 1234 pixel. If I do open my browser screen, 10234. That means at this point you're going to be seeing the effect. So let me open my VS Code editor, and now I will be writing a comment over here that is going to be for header section. So header section starts. I would like to select my navbar and change the padding from right and left. From top and bottom it's going to be 20, but from right and left it's only going to be 80. So now you can see the effect that the padding is removed. So this is how the media query works, and this is how you can make your responsive website with CSS easily. Alright, now the second media query is going to be for 1153 pixel. That means when the user comes over here, I even need to remove some padding. So let me open my code editor, and I'll be copying the same media query and pasting it once again. For over here, I will be setting the media query pixel that is 153 pixel, in which from right and left we are going to be having a padding of 50. Let's come to the browser screen, and as you can see the live change in it, right? So now you can understand how this media query works properly and nicely, right? So this is how we create a responsive navbar with HTML and CSS. So now let's see whether it's responsive really or not. So this is our max size. When I do scroll down, you can see, boom, we are having the breaks in the media queries, as you can see. This is going to be the tablet view. When the user clicks, our nav links will be displayed at the bottom of our navbar, and this is going to be the last size of the mobile device, which is the Samsung Galaxy Fold, the smallest mobile. As you can see, it's still responsive and it looks really cool and amazing. Now let me even check it in my browser. That's great. As you can see now, if you do see over here for my UL, that is my list items, that is my nav links, I have added it a transition of 0.2 second ease in and out. So when the user is on the website and when the user maximizes the browser screen, you should see an effect over here. Alright, as you can see, when I'm trying to maximize, when it breaks over here, as you can see, our nav links animated smoothly to make the user feel it interactive, not directly. It is not appearing, it is appearing smoothly. It's having some of the transition to make it look good and amazing. Okay, so now we are all set with our navbar, and now let's start working it with our main section, that is this one, which you can see over here. Right guys, this is the main section in which you're going to be learning how to use the Google fonts in your website. You're going to be learning some of the simple hover animation with transition in it, and you're going to be learning how can you provide like a one text and on the right hand side another text. Like we do have two columns over here. This is our one column and this is our second column. In the first column we are displaying some text, and in the second column we are displaying our image. So how can you just do it in CSS? So now let's start working with our main section. So I will be opening my index.html file over here now, and here my header section code ends. Right, I would like to provide a comment over here that is going to be main section starts, and the last comment is going to be main section ends. So now let's start working with it. So in this, the first thing that we're going to be creating a div which is going to be having a class that is going to be a container class. This is going to be our main container, in which we are going to be having another div which is going to be having a class of left column, in which we are going to be having the text related information, and then we're going to be having one more div which is going to be having a class of right column, which is going to be including the image. So this is the left column class which is going to be including the text, and this is the right column which is going to be including the image. Left means this part. For example, if I view, this is going to be the left column and this is going to be the right column, which is inside a container. So for explaining you easily, what I will be doing over here is that let me open my project, that is the cryptocurrency website, and now let me even open my VS Code editor. So I will be opening my CSS file and providing a comment over here for our main section CSS. And for making the code easier, the first thing is that I will be selecting my container class, to which I will be providing it a border of 2 pixel solid red. Okay, this is going to be the container. Now in this container, one is a left column, one is the div of right column, which is also going to be having a border of 2 pixel solid green, and the another one for the right column is going to be having a border which is going to be having a color of, let's go with border 2 pixel solid. Let's go with the color that is going to be purple, so it will be really easy to identify. Now as you can see over here, this is the red border which is our main container. Alright, the red border is our main container. This is our left column and this is our right column. Now we are going to be displaying by side as I said you in navbar. For that we are going to be using the display flex, in which you can use even the flex direction of column for making it responsive. Right guys? Yeah. So now let me minimize it and let me insert the data in my left column and right column. So let's insert the data first in our right column, in which you're going to be inserting the image. So I'm going to be selecting the image which is having a source inside my assets folder. we do have a crypto bank card.png image that I'm going to be selecting, and I'm going to be adding a alt text, where by the way, if my image is not being displayed for some issues, we are going to display a text which is going to be cryptocurrency. Now when I do open the browser screen, as you can see, the cryptocurrency image is being displayed over here, right? This is displayed in our purple border, that is right column. Now let's insert the data in our left column, which is going to be our green border. So the first thing that we're going to be doing over here in this left column is providing the h1 tag, in which we're going to display this text. We providing a line break. For a line break, we are going to be using the br tag. Then we are going to be adding the crypto text, and for a line break, we are going to be using again a br tag, and then we are going to be adding the mining text. Alright, so this becomes our heading. After the heading, we are going to be having the get started and the watch video button. So we are going to be creating a div which is going to be having a class of button container, in which we are going to be having the both of the buttons included. So the first button, which is going to be having a class of get started. Okay, in this button we are going to be simply displaying a text which is going to be get started. Now let's create another button which is going to be having a class name which is going to be watch video. So over here in this button, we are going to be having the watch, that means play by icon, which is going to be getting from the font awesome and a text of watch video. So for the font awesome icon, we are going to be providing the font awesome class, which is going to be fast solid circle play. We are going to be providing it an ID for styling it, which is going to be video player icon. And now let me provide a text to this button, which is going to be watch video. That's it. Now let me open my browser screen, and as you can see, with the text is being displayed over here, we do have a get started button, and we do have a watch video button, in which we do have a play icon that is coming from font awesome. So now we have done with this button container. After that, we do have some of the cryptocurrency icons. So after this button container, I would like to create a paragraph tag, in which I would like to display the user that this is going to be our trading coins for our cryptocurrency. So trade with any of the following coins. Alright, this is the paragraph, and for the coins, we're going to be using the font awesome icons. So I'll be creating a div which is having a class of bitcoins for styling it, and in this we are going to be having the font awesome icons. So I have already created it, so I'm going to be copying and pasting it over here to save our time. So as you can see, these are the icons in a font awesome class. Now when I come and open my project, and as you can see, the icons are being displayed over here, right? So now let's start styling our main section. Alright guys, so now let me open my VS Code editor and open the CSS file for styling it. So first, in this container, what I'm having two columns, right? One is the left column and one is the right column. So for an example, these are the two columns. This is the left column and this is the right column. Now what I need to do is I need to display this column in the left section and this column in the right section, like this, right? For that, we are going to be using the display flex. So in this container, I would like to provide it a display flex. After just providing it a display of flex, you can see the difference. We do have the image on the right and the text on the left side. Right? Am I right or not? Yeah. But you need to remember that it should be in a separate div in your container for applying this display flex. Alright. After that, I would even like to add overflow of hidden and add some padding from right and left to make it in a same padding or a margin which we have provided in our navbar, which you can see over here, right guys? Yeah. Alright. After that, I would like to select my left column, to which I would like to provide it a width. So as you can see over here, this is taking width of like 70% and this is taking only 30 to 20% of width, but we need both of these columns to take same width, 50 and 50. So 50% width for our left column and 50% for our right column. But in this left column, I'm also going to be providing some padding from top, that is going to be 70 pixel, to make it look aligned side by side of the image. After that, the overflow of this div will be hidden when we do go to the responsive design. After that, I would like to select my right column, okay, to which I would like to provide it a width of 50%, and in this whatever is there, I will be displaying it as flex, because what I need in my right column to do is that the image should be aligned in the center, in the middle, from top and bottom. So I'm using display flex, align items, center, justify content, center. The margin is going to be 0, auto from right and left, and the overflow for this container is also going to be hidden. Now when I do open it, as you can see, this looks really good and amazing. You can see the difference now. This left column and the right column is taking the same width, 50 by 50, and this is looking really clean. So now let's start working with our right column to make it responsive first. Alright guys, so in the right column, what we are going to do is style the image. So inside my container, I do have a right column in which I do have the image. The thing that I need to do is just change its height, that is going to be 250 pixel, and the position will be relative, because from bottom I need to provide some space to it, that is going to be 50 pixel. Now when I do see over here, as you can see, that looks really clean and amazing, right guys? Yeah. Alright, so as you can see over here, the position relative and bottom I've provided of 50 pixels, that's making the image go to the top. So we are going to be removing that, but adding a transition to it for having a smooth animation when the user maximize or minimize our browser screen, which is going to be all 0.3 second ease in and out. And the width from 250 pixel, I will just change it to the 100%, so it's gonna be taking the whole width of our right column and fit inside that right column. So when the user goes to the responsive device, our size for the image will be the same. So now when I do open it, boom guys, as you can see, it's like this. So once, let me just open back my VS Code editor. As you can see, I've changed its height, and then the height I need to change its width. I apologize for that. And now let me open my project. Boom guys, this looks really clear, clean and amazing. So now if I do maximize and minimize, as you can see, the smooth animation when we do go to the responsiveness will be applied to this image. Okay, so now we have finished the code for our right column. Now let's work with our left column. That's going to be the main section. So the first thing is that we're going to be styling the h1 tag. So dot container, inside my left column I do have the h1 tag. I'm going to change the font size of it, which is going to be 63 pixel. After that, I would like to even add some letter spacing between to make it look good and clear to read, which is going to be 3 pixel. And the color for it is going to be RGB, which is going to be 24. And now let me provide a font family that is going to be from the Google Fonts, which is going to be AUDIO, audio wide, and it's going to be sans serif. Now let me open my project. As you can see, the text styling is provided to it. Am I right or not? Yes, the text styling is provided to it. So now let's style our buttons. Okay, so now let me open my VS Code editor. And after the h1 tag, we are going to be styling our button container. So inside my container, I do have this left column. In this left column, I do have a button container. whatever is there inside this container, I would like to display it as flex, because I have two buttons and I need it to be displayed on the right of each others, like the first button over here and the second button over here on the side. So I'm displaying it as flex align items center, and the margin is going to be 0 auto. Now when I do open my project, as you can see, it is still being displayed on the side by side. Before it was also side by side, but sometimes when you're viewing it in a different browsers, you're going to be getting some issues, so it's better to provide the CSS code from before. Alright, so we have done that. Now let's style the buttons. So first we are going to be styling the get started button. Inside my container left column, I'm gonna select my button container, in which I would like to select my get started button. So the first thing is that I would like to change its background color, which is going to be hashtag F2A900, which is a type of yellow, and the text color for my button is going to be white. I will be removing the border from the button, provide some padding from the top of my button, that is going to be 15 pixel, from the right and left, that is going to be 30 pixel. Let me add some border radius to the button, which is going to be 7 pixel, that is going to be providing the curve smoothness to your button from the borders. Then I would be providing some margin from the top to make it different from the heading, which is going to be 40 pixel. After that, the cursor, when the user hovers on the button, will be changed to pointer. Let me add a transition to this button, so when the user goes to the responsive of the website, it will just nicely animate smoothly. So which is going to be all 0.3 second ease in and out. Okay, that's great. And now let's see our project. Okay, so the button looks really good and amazing. But now what I need is, when the user hovers on this button, I need to animate it nicely. So let me select this button once again. So I'm saying, when the user hovers on this button, change the background color of this button. That is going to be an RGB value 85131. Done. Let's see now when I do hovers on this button, as you can see a smooth transition effect on this button, which is changing a background color from yellow to purple, and that looks really amazing and interactive. Now let's style our watch video button. So inside my container, inside my left column, inside the button container, I do have a watch video button. I would like to select it. The first thing is that I would like to provide a background color to it, that is going to be a transparent background color. Simple. And I would like to change the text of the color for this button, which is going to be black. Provide a padding that is going to be same 15 from top and bottom, from right and left, which is going to be 30 pixel. I would like to remove the border and provide some border radius, which is going to be 7 pixel from all of the sides. The cursor is going to be pointer. After that, I would like to add a transition to it, which is going to be 3 second ease in and out. Then I will be changing the font size of the text, which is going to be 17 pixel. And now I will say that in this watch video, means in this button, I do have a font of some play button icon and a text of the button. I need to display it side by side, that means in a row. So I'll be using display flex in it, as I said so many times in this video. So display flex, then we are going to be using the align items center, and then we are going to be providing some margin from the top to this button, which is going to be same with our watch video button, with our get started button, that was 40 pixel. Let's open our project, and as you can see, that looks really clean and amazing. Now let's add some padding from the right and left of our text and the icon. So for that, let me select my video player icon. In this watch video, for the icon, I do have an ID provided to it, that is the video player icon. The first thing is that I'll be changing its font size, which is going to be 25 pixel. Then I'll be providing it a margin from right, so we are going to be getting some space from the image, from the icon and the text of the button to make it look clean and amazing. That is going to be 5 pixel. After that, I would like to change the color of it. For the video player icon, that is going to be an RGB 131. Alright, and now let me add a transition to this video player icons, because when the users hover on it, I need to change the color of this video player icon. So that is going to be all 0.3 seconds in and out. So now let's add a hover. When the user hovers on it, I need to change the video player icon. So how can we do that? Inside my container, I would like to select the left column, in which I'm going to be selecting the button container, and now I'm going to select my watch video button. So just pause the video and comment down below how will this effect works when the user hovers the button. What I need is to change the icon for our font awesome icon that we have inside this button. How can we do that? Just pause and just comment down below. Alright, so in this watch video, I'm selected this button, and when the user hovers this button, I will be selecting my video player icon, and now I will change its color to the color I want, that is yellow. That's it guys, we are all set. So now let me see over here, let me hover on it. As you can see, the color of the icon is being changed to yellow. That means the animation is working fine. So now let's style the paragraph and the bitcoins icon over here. So now after this, I would like to select the paragraph. So inside my container, inside my left column, I do have a p tag, that is the paragraph tag. I'll be providing it a font weight, which is going to be bold. I do get an error because of this extra square brackets added over here, so I'm going to be removing it. It's my error because by mistakenly I have added it, so I do apologize for that. Then I will be adding some margin from top, which is going to be 50 pixel to look it different from the button, having some space from the button from the top. Then I'll be changing the color, that is going to be an RGB 0.8 or 24. Great. So now let's open our project, and as you can see, the text looks really cool and amazing, but the margin is not yet applied. So okay, because I have not selected the paragraph tag, I do apologize for that. And as you can see, now that looks really clean and amazing. Am I right guys? Yeah. So now let me style the icons, which is going to be simple. So inside my container, inside my left column, I'm saying them inside my left column, I do have a div of bitcoins, right guys, in which I'm going to be selecting my font awesome class tag, that is I tag. The first thing is that I'll be changing its color to the color that I want. I will change the font size to make it look bit bigger in size, that is going to be 20 pixel at least, and we are going to be adding some margin from the right of all of these font awesome icons to get some space between them, which is going to be 30 pixel. So now let me open my project, and boom guys, as you can see, that looks really clean and it looks amazing. But if you do see over here, that means we are not having any space from the top. It is just attached with my paragraph. So I need to add some space from the top of our bitcoins div. So I'll be selecting my container, which is there inside the left column. The div name is bitcoins. What I'm going to do is I'm going to be adding a margin from top, which is going to be 15 pixel. Now let me open my project, and boom guys, that looks really clean and amazing. We do have created our section, that is our section for our main section completely. Now what we're going to do over here is that we're going to be working to make it responsive in design. So I'm not going to be removing the border. I'm going to show you how you can easily make this section responsive in mobile devices. So but for a simple view to see whether it's clean or not, I would like to remove the button border from this right column, from left column, and from the container. Boom guys, now let me open my project, and as you can see, this is how our creating website looks like, and this is how it is created, and this is how we are creating it. Am I right or not? Yeah. So now we are going to be working on to make it responsive in all of the devices. For before that, let me just uncomment all of these borders, and now I'm gonna show you. When I do right click and inspect on the web page, as you can see, the overflow from the X is added over here. That makes our website looks really stupid, and people will not love to use it, and it's really not interactive and responsive. So now I'll show you how can you make this left and right section responsive in all of the devices. Alright guys, so let's start working with the media queries. Let me scroll to the down to the media queries section over here. In this media query, which you can see 1081 pixel max width media query, in which we have written the responsive code for our header section. Scroll down and create a comment over here for the main section starts responsive CSS code. So it will be really easy for you all guys to understand what's happening over here. Alright, so now I'll be selecting my container, and the first thing I'm going to do over here is that change the padding. From top and bottom, I'm going to keep 0. From right and left, I'm going to keep it 5%. Then I will change the flex direction of this container to column. Alright, and now the thing that I need to do over here is that change the width for my left column and for my right column. So inside my container, I do have a left column. I will be changing its width to 100%. And after that, I'll be providing a margin from bottom, so we'll be getting the space between the left column and the right column. That is going to be 15%. After that, we are going to be styling our right column. The thing that we need to do is change the width to 100%. Okay. Now, after writing these 3 lines of media queries, scroll to the top and see that it's 1081 pixel. Open your app, right click, inspect, and after the break of 1081 pixel, you should see it over here. After the break of that, it's changing it to a column. Okay, top and bottom, right? And now it's taking a width of 100% with some paddings we have provided to it. So how it's gonna look responsive in mobile devices. Okay. After that, we are going to be writing the media query for 561 pixel. So let's scroll down over here, and after this, write a media query which is going to be having a max width that's going to be 561 pixel. The thing that we need to do over here is that change the size of our buttons and the size of our heading. So I'll be providing a comment over here that is going to be for our main section starts. Alright, and now inside my container, I'm gonna select my left column, in which I do have the h1 tag. The thing that I'm going to do is I'm gonna change its font size to 40 pixel to make it bit smaller in the mobile devices. Then I'm going to be selecting my left column button container, in which the first thing I'm going to select is my get started button. Add a transition to it that is already added, so I'm not going to add it again. The thing that I'm going to do is change the padding from top and bottom is going to be 10 pixel, from right and left it is going to be 20 pixel, and provide some margin from top which is going to be about 30 pixel. After styling my get started button, I'm going to style my watch video button, which is also there inside the left column. Font size I'm going to be changing for this watch video, that is going to be 15 pixel. Then I'm going to be changing the padding from top and bottom. I'm going to keep it 10, from right and left is going to be 20. I'm going to add some margin from top, that is also going to be same like get started button of 30 pixel. Now let me style the paragraph and the bitcoins icon. Inside my left column I do have a p tag. The thing I'm going to do is add some margin from top, which is going to be 35 pixel, and change the font size, that is going to be 15 pixel. Simple to make it bit smaller in the Android devices. After that, I would like to style the Bitcoins font icon, which is included inside the left column, inside a Bitcoins class, and then we are going to be selecting font awesome tag, that is I tag. I will be changing the font size, which is going to be 18 pixel, and then we're going to be adding some margin from right, that is going to be 20 pixel. So now let's come to 561 pixel width, and as you can see it's changed the font size, the button size, the paragraph and the Bitcoin size are changed. And now when you go more smaller to the device of the last Galaxy Fold, it will gonna look like this, and that looks really good, amazing and responsive. Now we are going to be adding some paddings in different of our media queries, which you can see over here. That means we are going to remove. It is going to be equal to the navbar padding that we have provided. This borders that you can see for the left column and the right column should be equal to this padding, which you can see over here at the start of our navbar and at the end of our navbar. So let's come to our code editor. Now we are going to be coming to the 1153 pixel media query, which you can see over here. Provide a comment over here that is going to be main section starts, and the thing I'm going to select over here is the container. Change the padding over here, that is going to be from top and bottom 0, from right and left it is going to be 50 pixel. After that, inside this 1 2 3 4 media query pixel, we are going to be commenting our main section starts. Why always I do write these comments? Guys, I do write this comment to make the code easy to understand, or if I'm handling this code to another developer, it will be easy for him to read the code properly and edit it easily. So now in this media query, I'm gonna select my container, and I'm gonna change the padding. From top and bottom it's going to be 0, from right and left I'm going to be changing it to 80 pixel. Now we are going to be writing another media query that is going to be 1421. So let me write over here 1421 pixel. Now in this event I'm going to be selecting my header section to add some padding that I forgot to do in my header section part. I'm going to be selecting the navbar, providing it a padding from top and bottom 20, from right and left 100 pixel. Same thing we are going to be doing with our main section. I'll be selecting my container, providing a padding from top and bottom 0, from right and left it's going to be 100 pixel. And that's it guys. We are all set with our media queries for our main section to make it responsive. Now the last thing that we need to do is remove the border from our left column and the right column. So let me remove it permanently other than commenting it out. This is going to be my left column border and this is going to be my container border. Let me open my personal project, and boom guys, this is how cool it looks now. Right? It looks amazing. Alright, so now when I do maximize it, okay, as you can see, it is in the same size of our nav padding from left and padding from right. Am I right, guys? And if you need to see a live example before creating it, you can just open a new tab in your browser, as you already know, and search for crypto hyphen currency hyphen ui.netlify.app. Just search for this URL and you are going to be seeing the created project live over here, how it's gonna be after you followed the tutorial video. Alright guys, you can even check it in your Android devices to see whether it is really responsive or not. Okay, so now let me just close this tab, and this is the work where we are creating. So now let's see whether it is responsive or not. So let me just select my browser screen, and slowly by slowly let me make it smaller to the Android devices. As you can see, this is the breakpoint. You need to keep the eye on this nav links. When it comes to the break, it's gonna transition and it's gonna be removed. As you can see how it disappeared, as you can see, it is having a smooth transition to disappear and to appear. And now as you can see, at this breakpoint, our main section is also changed its flex direction to column. Let me make it more smaller. As you can see, this is how it's gonna be looking in your iPad. This is how it's going to be looking in your iPad. Alright, if you want live preview, I'll be displaying you now. Alright, so this is how it's going to be looking in your iPad, and this is how it's going to be looking in your Android devices. So now let me just start up my iPad and show you the uploaded version of the portfolio. So as you can see over here, let me just make it near to my webcam. This is how responsive it's gonna look like. Is it clear? Yeah, I think so, it's clear. This is how the website will look like after you have created. It's really responsive and amazing with an animations. Look, it is really interactive. Alright, so we are all set with that. Now if you're even in the landscape mode, it will be still responsive, which you can see over here, right? Maybe because of the light contrast it will not be easy to see, but don't worry, you can just search for this cryptocurrency ui.netlify.app. I will even provide the link in the description below to access the directly and see it live demo of it. Alright guys, so now we have successfully completed the main section of our website UI design, right? We have completed the header section and the main section. Now the last section that is left is the footer section, in which we do have an image. We do have some 3 grid. So for creating this, what we have used over here is the grid containers, grid items, grid columns. Alright, so I'll explain you what is grid and how can we use it and how can we make our website look responsive with grid. These are the 4 grids which you can see over here: 1 grid, 2 grid, 3 grid and 4th grid. These grids are used for using 4 columns or 4 to 5 columns in your website. Now when I do go responsive, as you can see, we do break grids and it becomes even in a single rows and columns, etc. Okay, so that's it. So let's start creating our footer section. So now I will be coming to my index.html file after my main section code ends. I will be providing a comment over here that is going to be footer section starts and footer section ends. That's it. Now we are going to be writing the HTML code for our footer. Alright, so in this footer section, first thing that we are going to do over here is that create a div which is going to be having a class of grid container. So why we are using this grid? Of course, as I said you in my created project, we are going to be having 4 columns in it, which is going to be in a grid. So we can easily make it responsive for all the mobile devices and the tablet devices, right? So now we have created a grid container. Now in this we are going to be having different divs which is going to be named as grid item 1. Like that we are going to be naming all of our 4 divs. This div is going to be for our image, which is going to be containing our image. This is going to be containing the text. This is going to be containing the another text, and this is going to be containing our third text. So this is going to be grid item 2, grid item 3 and grid item 4. So in this video you are also going to learn how can we use grid in our websites and why it's useful. Alright, so here's the project that we are creating. So the first thing, in this div grid item 1, we need to insert a footer 1 image. So let me create a image tag over here which is going to be having a source. In my assets folder, I'm going to be selecting the footer1.png image and provide a alt text to it that is going to be simple and hammer image. Simple. Let me save it. Now when I do scroll down, as you can see, this image is being displayed over here, right? Yes. So now quickly let's insert our information data. So I'll be creating a paragraph tag in which I'll be having a bold tag. Now I'll be displaying the percentage, that is 98%. After that I'm going to create another paragraph tag which is going to be including the information related to this item. So success in getting. Now I need a line break, so I'll be entering a br tag and after that I'll be writing customers. Simple. Same thing we are going to do in our grid item 3. Create a paragraph tag, and now inside the bold tag, what's the percentage? That is 2.8x. And after this I'm going to create another paragraph tag and the item, that is potential, a line break, then the increased traffic. Now the last item that we are going to be entering over here in the same format, paragraph bold tag, which is going to be 30k. Then we are going to be having another paragraph tag in which I'm going to be entering the content, that is tens of thousands of. Then we are going to be having a line break. After that, successful businesses. Simple. Alright, so now when I do scroll down, as you can see, we got this content being displayed over here. Now I will show you what we can use grid for in our website. So now let's open our style.css file. Let me come down below after my main section code ends over here. Before my responsive CSS code, I'll be providing a comment over here that is going to be footer section starts, in which we are going to write all of the CSS code for our footer. So now the first thing I'm going to do over here is that select my grid container. Alright, and now I'll be providing it a background color to identify it out. Okay, so the background color is going to be RGB 24. Simple. Now as you can see, the background color is applied to it, right? After that I will say this grid container. As you can see, let me open my HTML file. Whatever, as you can see, these are 3 divs. Let me just collapse it so it will be really easy for you all guys to understand what's gonna happen over here now. So in this grid container, I will be saying this grid container to display all of the items which is there inside div as grid. So it will be displayed in a row, 1 grid, 2nd grid, 3rd grid and 4th grid. While we are going in the responsiveness on the mobile devices, we are going to be entering the media queries. In that we are going to set the grid template column as we want to display. In our tablet mode, 2 grids, then down below 2 grids. So we are going to set it to auto. Alright, if in our mobile device we need to display 1 grid, then we are going to set it to 1 auto. So I'll explain you that now. So let's come to our CSS file. After that I will set this container to display it as grid. Alright, now grid hyphen template hyphen columns. I'm gonna select this. Now there are how many data in this grid container? There are 4 data. So first I need to display in 4 different grids, okay, in a row. So set it to auto, auto, auto 4 times. Alright, so now as you can see, this is our first grid, second, third and fourth, which is in a row. If I do maximize my browser screen, as you can see how clean it looks, right? So now let me open my VS Code editor and now let me maximize it out. Okay, after setting your grid template, we are going to be adding some margin from top to get some space from our main section and our footer section, which is going to be 110 pixel. As you can see, that looks really clean. After that, I will say whatever is there inside this grid container, align items in center, which is gonna align all of the items in the center of our container, that is grid container. As you can see, maybe it's not gonna be visible because the color of it is black. We will change the color of it white to white now. Now let me change the color of it to white. So first of all, let's style our image. So inside my grid container, inside my grid item 1, I do have the image. I'm gonna select that, set its height to 250 pixel. Okay, so let's see, that looks really good. Now I need to display this image little bit top of our grid container, outside of our grid container. So how can we do that? As you can see over here, it's outside of our grid container. So we need to do that. So let's see. As you can see over here, what we are going to do is provide it a position of relative. And from bottom, I'm going to provide the space of 50 pixel. And now let's open our project and boom guys. This is the creating project. As you can see, now it is at the top of our grid container. That looks really good and nicely interactive for the user. After styling the image, we are going to be styling our grid items, because inside that we need to align all of the items in center. So I'm gonna select my grid container dot grid item 2 dot grid item 3 dot grid item 4. I have selected all of the class to apply the same stylings in single line of code, that is going to be display flex. I am saying in this grid items, display it as flex and align items in center to make it look really clean and amazing. Then I'm going to be adding some transition to it, so when it's go to the responsiveness, it will be really smoothly animated, which is going to be 0.3 seconds ease in and out. Let me open it. That looks really clean. As you can see, now it's aligned in center side by side in a row, because we have used display flex. So now it's one paragraph and the another paragraph is side by side to each other. That looks amazing. Now let's change the color of our font. So what I'm going to do over here is that inside my grid container, inside my grid hyphen item hyphen 2, I do have a paragraph. Same thing we are going to do with our grid item 3 and grid item 4. Selecting the paragraph. The first thing I'll be changing is the color to white and add some margin from left, which is going to be 15 pixel. Now let me open my project. Boom guys, as you can see, that looks really clean and amazing. Am I right guys? Yeah. So now let me change the font size of our percentage, which is included inside the bold tag. So what I'm going to do is I'm just gonna copy the same line of code, paste it once again, and now I'm not gonna be selecting this paragraph tag. I'm gonna be selecting the bold tag. Okay, I'm going to be selecting the bold tag. Now the first thing I'm going to do over here is that only change the font size to 35 pixel. That's gonna fix our issue. Let's view it, and boom guys, as you can see, that looks really clean and it looks really amazing. But you can see over the issue over here, if you see it over here in our website, we do have some space right over here. So how can we get that? It's really simple. In your grid container, the first thing that you need to do over here is that provide it a border of 2 pixel solid red, alright, to identify whether it's applying or not. Okay, so as you can see, the border red is provided to it. Let's come to our VS Code editor, and now in this you're going to provide padding from top and bottom 0, from right and left, which is going to be 110 pixel, and then remove the border. Let's check it once again. It's 150 pixels, so I apologize for that. Let's fix it. It's 150 pixel. Simple. Now let me open my project, and boom guys, as you can see, that looks really clean and amazing, and it is samely aligned, right? So now let's make our footer section responsive. If I do inspect it and view it, when I do make it smaller, as you can see, it's not at all responsive, and it's just breaking our responsive design that we have created, right? So let's start with our media queries. Let me scroll down to our media queries. So this is the 1421 pixel. We are going to be removing some padding and adding the newer one. So over here, I'm going to be providing a comment of footer section starts. And now I'll be selecting my grid container, in which I'll be providing it a padding from top and bottom 0, from right and left, which is going to be 100 pixel, and I will justify the content in center. Okay, now we are going to be adding some margins. So inside my grid container, I do have grid items and all, so I've just written a code for it, which is right here over here. I would like to copy that, scroll down and paste it over here. Okay, so now let me just align it so it will be really easy to see, and it will be really a clean code. Dot grid item 1 comma. Now the thing that I'm going to do over here is that just add a margin from top and bottom 0, from right and left of 20 pixel. This is 1421 media query. So let me right click, inspect, and come to the media query of 1421. As you can see, the code is still being breaked. Why so? So let me do a hot reload over here to see whether why it's breaking. Let me just open my VS Code editor, and over here let me just remove this, come back, still the same, remove this content. I don't think so it's because of that. That's some of the issue that is being occurred. So there's one fix to fix it, that is close your server that is running now, minimize your browser, open your sidebar, right click on your HTML file and open it with live server once again, and that's good. Let's right click, let's inspect, and as you can see, now it's totally fine, because sometimes this error occurs when you're refreshed your browser screen multiple times. So now let me see whether it's responsive. Okay, so that's great, the padding is applied to it. Okay, so now let's scroll down to our second media query, which is 1234 pixel. Let me provide a comment of footer section starts, and now same thing I'm going to do is remove the padding. So inside my grid container, what I'm going to do over here is that I would like to provide padding from top and bottom 0, from right and left it is going to be 80 pixel. Alright, so let's come to this media query, which is 1153. I'm gonna copy the same code which is written in the previous media query and paste it right over here, and change it from left and right to 50 pixel. That's great and amazing. Now let's come to our another media query, which is 1181. in this we are going to provide a comment, or I feel like to paste the code once again and change the padding from right and left to 5%. Now let's come to the media query of 903 pixel, which is not yet created. So let me create that media query over here, media max width, which is going to be 903 pixel. This time I'm going to set my grid template column to auto. So footer section starts. All right, and now I'm going to be selecting my grid container, to which I will be setting its grid template columns to auto and auto. Why so? Because what I need over here is that I need, when it goes to that media query, I need only 2 grids to be displayed in first row, and in second row I need these 2 grids to be displayed. As you can see, when I just go smaller, as you can see, only 2 grids are being displayed over here and 2 grids are being displayed at the bottom of it, right? That looks really amazing. Now let's write a media query for our mobile device. We need to display only 1 grid in a single row. So that is going to be 619 pixel. So at the rate media max width, which is going to be 619 pixel. Let me provide a comment. And now we are going to be selecting our grid container and set the grid template columns to auto. And after that I would like to select all of my grid items. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to scroll to the top, close the extra media queries which I don't need, copy this line of code which is written for our grid items to save our time, and paste it after our grid container. And now this is not needed. The thing that is needed is only grid item 2, 3 and 4. Now over here the margin from top and bottom is going to be 20 pixel, from right and left is going to be 0 pixel. Let me come to my project, and this is going to be how it's gonna look like in our Android devices. But as you can see, it's not yet implemented. So in our grid item 2, grid item 3 and grid item 4, 2, 3 and 4, I have added the margin from top. Okay, I forgot to add pixel. I apologize for that. Let me open it back again, and that looks really clean. So as you can see, when I just opened it, when the page was refreshed, you saw this was smoothly animated, because we have added a transition of 3-second ease in and out to this grid items. So that will help you to make your website look clean, animated and fresh. Simple. Like if someone refreshes your website or opens your website, it will be smoothly animated at start, right? So that's the clean look of it. So now we have successfully done with our footer section. Now the thing that comes over here, the final part of our cryptocurrency website UI design tutorial video, is that adding the animation with vanilla JavaScript. So as you can see, the created project, when the user opens our website, it smoothly animates, right? So how can we add this animation? It's going to be really simple. Open a new tab in your browser and search for AOS animation that we're going to be using in this course. And the first link, which is from the Michael Sneak GitHub, just open that link, and here you're going to be getting the AOS animate scroll library. This will be animated when you scroll down. As you can see, there are so many animations that you can apply to your website easily, that we are going to be using in this project. So let's start. Now let me minimize and open my VS Code editor and open my HTML file and close this CSS file, as we don't need it for now. Let me open over here, scroll down to the end of this library package, link over here, scroll down, and you will see over here the CDN resources that we are going to be using. The first one is the CSS one. So let's copy it from here. All right, and open your code editor, paste it after your CSS links right over here. Okay, and scroll down, open the project, copy the script tag from here and paste it right here under your JavaScript tag ends. Now if you are using this project as your React, if you are working on Node.js and any else, you can just use these commands to install this package in your libraries. Alright, that's going to be really simple. Now we have installed the package. Now we need to write the JavaScript code, which is this aos.init parenthesis semicolon, which will help us to run this animation in our website. So open your script.js file and paste it in it. That is aos.init. Simple. Now let's start applying the animation. So I have already having some animation that I have applied before, so I'm going to be using the same animation for saving our time. Alright, so in our header section, okay, to this UL tag I have added a data hyphen aos that equals to zoom in and up. You can even set its duration, that I'm going to set it for 1 milliseconds for now. So if I do show you over here in this GitHub link, when I do scroll to the top, this is how you can set the duration, and this is how you can set your functionality, that is fade left, right and all. Okay, so the thing that I've used over here is the zoom in up, which is right over here. As you can see, when I do scroll down, this is the package, this is the animation that I'm using for our UL links, right? So now let me open my creating website and let me do a refresh. You can see it is not applied and it is also not being displayed over here because of some issues. So let's see why it's happening. Let me just recheck my code over here. This is the CSS file that we have linked, and the JavaScript file we have linked at the bottom of our JavaScript. So let me just cut this script tag and paste it at the top of our script.js link, and now it should work fine. As you can see, when I do refresh the project, as you can see, our UL links, that is our nav links, animates smoothly in 1 milliseconds. That's all what we need. Now let's add animation to our main section. So here comes our main section. So in this main section, the first thing is left column. I'll be setting its data aos, which is going to be fade hyphen up. Now let me set its duration, which is also going to be 2000 milliseconds. It's 2 milliseconds, it's not 2000. It's simple 2 milliseconds. Now let's come to our right column, which is going to be our image, which is having a animation which is fade hyphen left, and the duration is same 2 milliseconds. All right, let's open our project and now let's do a refresh. Ow, that's amazing. This is how our animation works in our website. That is really cool and it's really amazing. So now let's add the last animations to our footer, which is the main thing we are going to be adding to all of our this grid items. So let me come to my footer section. So let's come to a grid item 1, which is going to be having the data OS, which is going to be zoom in, and the duration is going to be 2 milliseconds. Let's come to our grid item 2, which is going to be having the effect of flip hyphen left, and the duration is going to be 2 milliseconds. Now I'm going to be copying this because the same animation we are going to be including for all of these informative grid items, and save it. And that's it guys, we are all set with our responsive animated cryptocurrency website UI design with HTML, CSS and JavaScript. So let's view it. Let me come over here, let me scroll to the top and let me do a hot restart. Wow, that animates smoothly. Let's do it once again. That's really clean. Now let me scroll down. As you can see, this is are also animating when I do scroll down. As you can see, it's animating once again. And if you want to animate it only once, the thing that you need to do is set the data once to true. For all of these grid items, I'm going to be following it, so I'm just going to apply it over here for the tutorial purpose. That's it. Let me do a restart once again. Now let me scroll down. It animates. Alright, now when I do scroll back to the top and come down, still it's being animated. Why so? Why is that happening? Alright, I apologize for that. I have not applied over here data hyphen AOS hyphen once, which is going to be true. Now let me just copy it and paste it over here, right over here. Now let me open the project once again. It animates. Okay, so now let me do a refresh. As you can see, it's animating. When I do scroll down, this animate once. Now when I do scroll back to the top and scroll back to the bottom, as you can see, it's not animating again because we have set the data once to true. And that's it. We have successfully created a responsive animated website of cryptocurrency in which we have learned how to use grid items, how to use left right column display flex, how to create a responsive navbar with only CSS, how can you add to your simple animations to your website with the help of simple vanilla JavaScript by using the AOS animate scroll library. So that's amazing. You have even learned how to add some hover effects in it, a smooth transition when the user refreshes their website. So that's it for this video. And if you liked the video, please do not forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel and hit the notification bell. And I will see you in the next amazing tutorial video.